Oh, hi, it's me. You're here live at the compound, my place, for the ChrissieCast. And today we catch up with Ash Williams, raconteur, tennis ace, and grower of magnificent hair. In this chat, we start with poached eggs and we move through conversation staples at barbecues and we finish with Stanley Tucci. Pop on the kettle. It's Ash time. Welcome to the ChrissieCast, Ash Williams.
Welcome.
Now, for clarity, when I first asked you to be one of my regulars on the ChrissieCast, thank you, by the way, you agreed with me that there's no money in podcasts, obviously, and that you would accept payment in poached eggs and sourdough. I want to know, have I delivered on that promise?
You have. I just, my belly is full with poached eggs and sourdough.
Specifically, I mean, obviously the poached eggs I've mastered. They're perfect, weren't they?
They were perfect.
Thank you. And I wanted to talk specifically about the sourdough because it's my new obsession and I love making it. It takes days to achieve that.
Right.
Could you taste the love in it, the labour, the time?
I could taste the labour of love. It's always nice to taste the labour.
Yes.
When you eat anything.
Agreed.
Or use anything. I want it to feel like labour.
You want it to feel like someone has cared.
Yes. And look, there was a lot of care in it. There was a lot of crispiness, a lot of nuance to the mouthfeel.
Thank you. The mouthfeel. Welcome to the ChrissieCast mouthfeel.
Mouthfeel. Is it mouthfeel or mouthful?
Mouthfeel. Mouthfeel.
Yeah, that's it. Mouth.
That's how things feel in your mouth.
That's what a kiss is.
The mouthfeel.
Yeah. It's a mouthfeel. And, I'll tell you what, we've discovered a new word there.
The mouthfeel.
It's a mouthful of mouthfeel.
Yeah.
And
you're a breakfast guy.
I love eggs.
You're a breakfast guy.
Obsessed with eggs.
Me too. It's my favourite protein. I love chicken. I love them all. Like I'm a carnivore, absolutely. But I would eschew every other protein if I was guaranteed eggs every day.
Great word. Eschew.
E-S-C-H-E.
Whoa. So, yeah.
Welcome to the ChrissieCast eschew.
Yeah, exactly. Eggs are massive, and how can you live your life without them?
You can't.
Some people do. I know a guy.
Well, actually, no one does because we all come from an egg. So everybody cannot exist without eggs.
Yeah,
that's it.
I don't know. because my brother asked me once, I'm very competitive, and I was with my brother over Christmas, and he thinks he's a good cook, and I don't think he's good. And he goes, I'd beat you on MasterChef. If I was up against you, I'd cook my special salmon slow cook.
Oh,
and
tale as old as time.
I said, mate, you really are pathetic. He goes, well, what would you cook? And I said, a poached egg.
Yeah.
Because it shows technique.
Can you do a poached egg?
That's all I can do. Like, poached eggs are my thing.
How do mine compare?
They're very different, which is what I love about a poached egg. Yours is more like a cafe poached egg.
Thank you. That is music to my ears.
It's like yours is absolutely professional.
Then what's yours?
Loosey-goosey.
Oh.
And
I can teach you.
No, I don't need to.
You probably do.
Here's the thing.
A poached egg's not supposed to be loosey-goosey.
No. But in terms of what I mean by that, I have a bit more runneth of yolk.
Okay.
My yolky is really yolky, but it's not loose as in undercooked. And I sometimes marvel at the eggs that I cook. You must do that a lot because you're a great cook.
I am a great cook.
And when you eat it, you're like, God, I'm good.
Yeah, I say to my kids, I go, every time I take a mouthful of something delicious, I go, God, bitch can cook.
Bitch can cook.
Bitch can cook. They're not allowed to say that to me, but I can say it about myself.
Nice.
That breakfast I gave you had homemade sourdough, 2 poached eggs, half an avocado, my son's bagel seasoning that he makes himself, scattered across it, sesame, garlic affair, and some chili oil. Now, that at a cafe would cost about $42. I cannot eat at cafes for breakfast anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I don't feel as bad now when I said to you, bitch can cook. But
I can't do it.
Here's a business idea.
Yeah.
Just a simple cafe that does eggs on toast with maybe a few sides, and it's not going to cost you over $20.
See, I think $20 is outrageous. Having said that, we used to be the sort of family that would go out for breakfast on the weekends. My kids have grown up at cafes and restaurants, right? Because that's something that I wasn't willing to give up, along with absolutely everything that you do have to give up when you have children. But it got to the stage, as they got older, I would sit and watch them very confidently order the eggs Benedict with a side of avocado and a side of hash brown, and then my middle son liked mushrooms and he would have that. Very quickly, it's $40 for those kids to have breakfast. I would not order anything. We would go out, the four of us would go out for breakfast. They would order and I would sit there with my coffee and hope that someone wouldn't eat their crusts and I could wipe it around the plate of leftover gooey egg and eat that, and that was my breakfast. Sad.
That is sad.
And $120 later, no.
Is there a meal that is more conspicuous, as in breakfast, where you think I can make this better or cheaper?
Well, obviously breakfast, and I've proven that. I can make almost anything as good as a restaurant. I know that is real, that's fighting words, but like the steak I buy is from the supermarket, costs $8 a piece. But the method that I use means that it tastes like a $60 steak. And you know what have you got an air fryer?
No.
Do you cook apart from a poached egg?
A little bit. A little bit.
Oh, well, I won't even
please,
bore you.
No, hey, my life's not over. Teach me.
Do you like hot chips?
What kind of a question is
It's a
that?
stupid question.
Do I like hot chips?
We've discussed that egg is the best protein. Potato is the best vegetable. And I just don't think, when you ask people, oh, what's your favourite vegetable? I think you have to put a caveat on it and say, you can't say potato.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, you can't say potato.
Because they're just the king, the versatility of it. Anyway, when I order chips from the fish and chip shop, you can get minimum, I get maximum, whatever that is.
What is maximum?
Family.
Right.
Family/large.
They just keep pouring it down you until you say stop.
Yeah, the biggest.
I'd love that.
Back it up.
Yeah, back it up.
And I often get two separate. In fact, every single time I go to the fish and chip shop, I get 2 separate mother loads of hot chips. And do you know why?
Because you have a lot of kids?
We don't need 2. 1 is enough. A family size is enough. I put aside the second serving and I wait until it's cool, and then I put it in a Ziploc bag, and then I put that in the deep freeze, and then whenever I want, I can take a handful of frozen fish and chip shop chips and put them in my air fryer for 6 minutes on 180. And I can have hot chips as if they're fresh from Con's deep fryer. And the same works for potato cakes, which happen to be my favourite food of all time. Also known as potato scallops, depending on where you come from.
I tell you, that was pretty erotic. The last minute was like, if you were into your food and you were into your ASMR, which I'm not sure what that stands for, but it's like these words.
Yeah, what does it stand for? I don't like it.
Well, it's just like, for some reason humans are wired for, we enjoy it.
No, I don't. I'm not an ASMR girl at all. I have to turn it off.
Maybe you haven't seen the right one.
Maybe.
There's a guy who does them on TikTok, and you're like, I don't want to watch this, and you're hypnotized by him saying, hey, let me make you some soup. And I'm going to put some soup in the microwave.
I must say, the way that you were looking at me then when I was telling you what I do with my chips, you were under my spell.
Yep. It's the TikTok generation.
Wow. Is breakfast a good date?
Yes, absolutely, because you would think they wouldn't be drinking alcohol.
Okay.
And often it's activewear or it's relaxed.
Yeah.
There's no stakes on it. Literally.
And you've got a good out. You can always be like, I've got somewhere to be.
Great out. Yeah, there's no chips on the table for breakfast. You're like, if you're not into it, you can just have a long black and bounce.
When you, that's one of my favourite sayings of all time, bounce. I've only just heard it recently. Let's bounce.
Yeah, right.
It's so good.
It is good. But I feel like, I don't know, at least you're getting on it, the bounce curve right at the end. But hey.
Am I too old to say let's bounce?
No, because it's pretty old. Bounce is not like, the kids aren't saying bounce. Like 20-year-olds aren't. Maybe they are, but bounce is, it's old. It's old. But it's cool. It's still cool. Like,
could I adopt it now?
100%.
Okay,
My
I'm
mum
going
says,
to.
let's bounce.
Does
But
she?
She's just started saying it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Jen,
it doesn't
what?
sound right.
Back to going out for breakfast on a date. I imagine that it is fraught with landmines in terms of what to order, what impression your order makes, how people are going to judge you. Would you ever order a side of spinach?
I personally wouldn't. If my date wanted to order whatever she wanted to, then go for it. What the breakfast is good for is it takes you into what your life might look like with that person instantaneously. It's very
it's a very couples thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like there's not a lot of kind of filler or ensemble players in breakfast either. It's something like your personality. If you've got a great personality, breakfast is your jam.
Right.
For sure, because you don't need the orchestra or the extras behind you. Your personality will shine through. And I feel like dinner, there's so much more stimuli going on.
And you can't say at 8 o'clock, I've got to get to work or I've got to go to a meeting. I like an escape clause in everything.
Yep.
Not dating, but everything. I like an end time in case I get weird. Because I get like unexpectedly weird sometimes out of the blue. So
will you go into the date? Because I know a guy who does this with male friends. He always has an escape plan before our catch-up. So he'll be like, I can only stay for an hour guys. And we're like, an hour?
yeah, he's like me then.
And then if it's going well, he'll be like, I can stay an extra hour. Just heard from the wife. And then if it's going really well, I got one more hour. But it's like...
I understand that. I like to make your intentions known as soon as you see each other, just in case I get weird.
Yeah.
He might be the same. He might get weird out of the blue and he's got to know that he can be away from everybody when he's going to be weird.
Couldn't you just say, I'm going home? Like maybe give yourself...
Well, no, because that's shocking.
What about half an hour?
No,
Go.
you got to warn them straight away.
Okay. Yeah, I feel you. Then it's
Straight
not
away.
shocking, yeah.
Great to see you. Sorry, I can't stay long. That's all you
That's
need
cool.
to say.
Yeah.
Back to breakfast dates. I want to talk about the beverages of choice. I'm a triple shot flat white girl. You're an oat latte
I'm a long black.
or a long black.
And then I will have something to eat and then I'll go to a flat white with oat milk.
What about hot chocolates?
Yeah, so I was buying a coffee for a mate a week ago. And I texted him, I said, I'm at the cafe, do you want a coffee? He goes, no thanks, just a hot chocolate. He's a 35-year-old man, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, sure. I get down there, I order a hot chocolate, it's $5.50 for a hot chocolate?
Ridiculous.
And I said, what's going on with the hot chocolate? And they
Yeah,
go,
it's
it's
a
made...
few spoonfuls.
And they go, it's made from ganache chocolate. I go, I couldn't care less. So I go and see my mate and I just spray him. I go, mate, who do you think you are? Like, you're 35 years old. You're drinking hot chocolate. It's pathetic. And he's like, I'm trying to get off coffee. I'm like, mate, what is your life?
There's I'm not a very judgmental person and I really deeply believe in my core that whatever you need to do to make yourself happy, you must do. But a grown man ordering a hot chocolate is the one thing that I will judge someone on. If I find out that you're the sort of person that goes out for a coffee and orders a hot chocolate, the judgment and the picture I paint of you is not flattering.
No.
You're the sort of guy that
Your life with
collects
them.
figurines. You're the sort of guy that collects figurines.
Exactly right? And probably lives with his mum. And I mean,
Well, you can't really judge.
that's the thing. That joke doesn't quite work for me.
No, it doesn't.
But I'm a coffee drinker who lives with his mum. Very different, very masculine. But
And also, you revealed in the last podcast that you've basically got your own apartment at Jen's, which does change things
it
as well.
sure does. Backdoor entrance.
Yeah.
And so, look, anyway, I said to the guy who ordered the hot chocolate, I said, next time I will make it for you. Because I don't feel right about paying $5.50 for it, and you don't feel right about accepting, do you? And he goes, no, I don't.
No.
And he would have accepted the one that I made him.
In fact, I think the right thing to do is if somebody asks you, can I pick you up a coffee? And your answer is going to be, no, I'll have a hot chocolate. You don't say that. You just say no.
You say no.
You say no. Has anyone ever said, no, thanks, I'll have a cup of tea, and you spend $5 for a tea bag in hot water? Outrageous.
If it's a girl, I'll accept that because you're still then sharing a hot drink. I know hot chocolate's a hot drink, but at least tea has a bit of caffeine in it.
No, that is outrageous.
Have you heard the...
And you couldn't say to your date, I'm not getting you a cup of tea. That's going to cost me $5. Are you mad? Because there is nothing less attractive than a tight ass.
No, you can't. You're going to have to bottle that.
Yeah.
But it's like a matcha. It's all that stuff. It's like, I could make that for you.
Matcha tastes like fish to me.
Matcha's terrible, but it's meant to be good for you.
I know.
Have you heard the story about Larry David and his wife? They used to share a coffee in the morning together, and then then Larry went to tea, and his wife got upset and said,
fair enough.
You're not sharing, this moment with me now. And he said, what do you care? I've got a hot liquid, you've got a hot liquid. And then he was whinging to Jerry Seinfeld. He goes, Jerry, can you believe it? I think that's why we ended up getting divorced, because of this tea coffee thing. And
wow.
Jerry said, I'm sorry to tell you this, Larry, but I think your wife has a bit of a point. It's like you are going to an ice cream store and she gets a cone and you get a salad.
Yes.
It's about the moment that the coffee creates. You are sharing that moment together.
Yeah, but coffee is central to that moment. It's not just about drinking something.
No.
Hence the hot chocolate problem. It's either you have a coffee together or you have a coffee on your own.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think there's something – it's like sitting down for a beautiful meal that you're sharing together and everyone eating something different, or someone bringing out a sandwich they've brought from home. I know. I won't have your slow-cooked lamb shoulder and accoutrements, Chrissy. I've brought a Vegemite sandwich. Yeah. That's not it.
No, you're not – it's not a you're not holding hands figuratively.
Yeah.
Because what I've just realised is that coffee is the morning alcohol.
Yes.
So you are bonding. It's the morning high.
God, I love coffee so much.
I don't think I could be with a woman who didn't drink coffee or alcohol. One of them needs to be in there, preferably coffee.
I agree. It's very important. Otherwise, yeah, I'll judge you. You live with your mother, and I love talking about dating with you because you are very active. You're always on the lookout for someone that's going to make a difference to your life, and I like that about you. You're dedicated, always open. But I wanted to know, and we've talked about so much stuff over the journey of our friendship.
I don't know if I'm dedicated, but yeah.
You are.
He's dedicated.
You are dedicated.
Right. Well, I guess I'm open to things on the horizon.
Absolutely. Your screen is always open. It is. That part of your brain.
My head is up.
Yes. How does it work living with your mum? I know you've got your own apartment, blah, blah, blah.
No, I never have any dates at mum's, ever.
Ever?
Maybe if I was going out with them in a relationship, then they would come over, but even that's quite rare.
Do you worry about the conversations that may ensue with Jen and you and this girl in the kitchen?
No, I couldn't care less.
What if Jen started talking about celebrities?
As in, oh, right. Well, because living with mum, and also I do need to state I am moving out, like possibly in this month.
What?
Yeah.
This is huge.
Oh, it's time to get out, mate. So, but mum, and I don't know if you're listening to this, your parents do this, but I'll get home and she'll be like, I just watched the best TV show. And I go, well, what was it? Oh, with that guy who had a breakdown.
Oh, my God, my mum does this and it's like Jeopardy.
It's Jeopardy. And he has grey hair. He used to date the girl from...
Who is Michael Douglas?
Yes.
Who is... Yes.
And you're just guessing. And I'm like, Mum, you watched it. It went for 2 hours.
And they come up with the most weird, specific, random facts. Like, just say you'd forgotten the name of Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
You might say, the short guy used to be married to Nicole Kidman. That's
Easy.
fairly obvious. My mum would say, he's got the fluffy hair like a bantam hen, and he looks a bit like a chipmunk, and his arms seem about 4 inches longer than they should be.
Yeah.
I'm like, who?
No.
And then eventually you get it and you're like, we could have got here a lot quicker.
Yeah. What's concerning is that because I've been living with Mum for way too long, I'm starting to guess way too early.
Right.
So she'll say like, you know that actress who got divorced and was on the reality TV show, and I'll just get it. And I'm like, oh, you know.
Who would that be?
Who was it?
Kim Kardashian?
No, it was Aussie. It was Aussie. She got really,
Naomi Watts?
No, it wasn't Watsy. It was like
Watsy.
It's like esoteric references. You know, she was on McLeod's Daughters for 2 episodes. I'm like, Mum, I never watched it, but then I'll get it somehow. Like Rachel Carpani, yes,
wow.
And I'm good at this stuff. It plays to my forehand.
Yeah,
it's in my wheelhouse. All of these weird things, and that's probably what I've carried on the genes from Mum. But
you're like living inside a super crozzle.
A super crozzle? Is that a crossword?
Yes, it's a crossword puzzle. What? I'm sorry, you don't know what a super crozzle is?
But isn't a crossword already a puzzle? So you don't need to call it a crozzle?
Yes, but these ones are designed. Crozzles are the best. They're the ones you see in those cheap magazines. With the photos.
Love the photos. You go straight to the photos. You see where
and there's a little tiny arrow and it'll say Rachel Carpani and a picture of her, and you get it and you just like full body excitement.
But the photos are so easy. So you start with the photos,
yeah,
and then you go, if you get all 4, you go, I'm all in.
Yeah.
And then you do the crossword. If you don't get any of the photos, you go, maybe I'll sit this one out.
Yeah. You're match fit for crozzles from living with Jen. It's coming to an end. I'm sad. Is Jen going to be okay?
Yes, she wants me out.
Does she?
She wants to watch the TV shows that she wants to watch. Because we don't have a smart TV.
No.
We're old school. We watch everything live. And Mum's choice in TV is terrible.
Like what?
Oh,
is she watching Deal or No Deal?
No, she's not watching Grand Daniel and Deal or No Deal. I'd watch that.
I love Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel's doing a great job. She loves a lot of news, loves a lot of Four Corners, a lot of all this crap. I'm like,
God, she'd love ABC iView.
Yeah, but she's not big on the ABC, but she watches it too much. And I keep saying to Mum, I go, if you don't love the ABC, stop watching it.
Correct.
The footy's on. So, you know, she's like, you watch too much footy and no other football games on? She doesn't understand. Every footy game is a movie, and that's why I'm moving out.
A hard disagree.
No, I was being facetious.
Can I tell you, I've done breakfast radio for 1,000 years, and in Melbourne specifically, the city that I grew up in and did breakfast radio in, you must know about football. You must. You need to have a team. You need to talk about it. You need to know who's playing. You need to know where the scandals are. You just need to know. And I stopped doing daily breakfast radio in Melbourne, a massive AFL footy town, 18 months ago, 2 years ago. And can I tell you, I have not thought about the AFL once. I don't know where the scandals are. I don't know who the hot players are. I don't know who the draft picks are. I don't know who's who on the ladder. I don't know how my team's going. I don't know who's good. And I am so happy about it.
Well, because I was just about to ask, does this have anything to do with the fact that your team is at the bottom of the ladder?
Well, maybe. No, the answer is no, because this happened. This was going to happen anyway. I only cared because I had to.
Because they used to be at the top. You're a Richmond girl.
Yes, I am.
They were on top for a long time, and now they are way down the bottom.
Are they? Not a good year for them?
The worst.
Well, swings and roundabouts.
But you're missing out. You've timed it well.
Couldn't care less.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So 3 things, and I haven't got the third thing. I need your help. 3 things you need at a barbecue, and this can be all around Australia. Mm-hmm. So the first, and this is definitely with guys. Actually, maybe it's only with guys. To have a nice afternoon at a stranger's barbecue. What footy team do you go for?
That is...
What? Well, maybe it's a...
that is mutually exclusive.
What about if it's a cousin?
A good afternoon at a stranger's
let's just say somewhere you don't really want to go and you just want to... Let's just say it's your girlfriend's... your new girlfriend's family or something. I don't know.
Oh, my God, this is getting worse.
And you're meeting her brothers. So
The first thing I'd say is, I'm sorry, I can't stay. I'm so sorry. I've got an appointment to get my moustache lasered.
yes, died.
At 11. Yes.
Yep.
Anyway,
And
yeah.
And your girlfriend's looking at you. No, you don't. Yes, I do.
Shush now. So we are at the barbecue.
So
What are the
first
three
one
things?
is, who do you go for in footy?
If you say, what do you think of the real estate prices?
No.
Okay.
Second one is, geez, it's hot or geez, it's cold, right?
See, these, so far, there's
I'm not.
two of the three that absolutely confirm my decision to never leave the house again.
And I'm not saying these are great conversations, but they're just padders for hopefully better conversations. Mm-hmm. And the third one,
What do you do for a living?
would that work with everyone? Because those first two work with everyone.
They wouldn't work with me. You would see my face
I wouldn't use it with you.
go dead inside.
No,
See, as you get older, I'm much older than you. Do you know what the three are that come out? What do you do? What schools do your kids go to? And how are the real estate prices in your area? And honestly, I'm just going to grab my stuff and go.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's.
I hide in a room in the house until it's over. I find a quiet room and I hide. I do that. Well, I did, and then I decided never to go anywhere again.
Yeah, so also that's a very long conversation. All those three would go forever. But I'm realising these questions that I have are just for men, and that they're so. Men are very simple, very very simple.
I keep on hearing that. Tell me more about that.
Because even the most astute gentleman, who is incredibly well read and educated, to the laggard or whatever, the bottom of the rung of men who doesn't know anything.
The surf, SERF, yes.
The surf. I was going to say the dregs of society, but it's a bit harsh.
That's a bit harsh.
It absolutely is. They would find a common ground with those two questions, especially the first one.
But are they interesting, Ash?
Yes, it's absolutely low-level interest, but everyone is quite passionate about footy. And so whether that's AFL or NRL or, one of those two, I guarantee you.
I think that's really sad.
It is. It is. It doesn't take a lot. I guarantee.
What do you say? Actually, no, I don't want to know.
There's so much.
No, there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you could say about sport in general that I would find interesting, unless it's like historical stories of cheating and all that sort of stuff. I like that.
I think you'd be so surprised if you eavesdropped on a group of men having a conversation. You'd be like, fuck, this is boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's why it's good to meet people who. But anyway, I was just waxing about the three general questions that people could have. It's kind of a bit of a piss take, but it's
So we got footy,
the weather.
the weather. What was the last one? We didn't get
I don't
there.
think we got there.
Can we get there now, or you can't? You're going to hold out on
Oh,
me?
no, I'm looking for your help.
Oh, okay.
It needs to be simple.
So it's got to be
I got it.
simple and
got it.
boring.
I got it.
What is it?
Didn't sleep well last night. You? Are you sleeping well? No, maybe that's because women would get involved with that. That's a great one. That's unisex.
I'm trying to think of what else men would talk about. Women are great at talking. I could talk to women all day long. And men, actually. I know very interesting men. You say that men are simple, but that hasn't been the case in my... I mean, some of them are.
I'm not saying they're simple as a whole. I'm saying that they do have some simple aspects to them that they can be quite happy doing simple things or having very simple conversations.
Right. And that's like an understanding between men, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not going to go to this barbecue and say, I don't know, you're not going to talk about eggs and sourdough, for example. That
No.
people would just go, what?
Well, we've got the footy. I mean, if I had nothing, if the footy didn't land, which it very rarely doesn't, I would parlay into something else, maybe eggs and sourdough. But I had a guy come up to me actually at a pub, and it was quite dark, and he was wearing a Sydney Swans scarf, and he comes up to me. I couldn't really see him, taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Hello, stranger." And I'm like, again, I couldn't really see him. And my friends are like, "Do you know this bloke?" And I go, "Yeah, I do. It was your brother-in-law."
Beautiful Mark.
Beautiful
What was he doing?
Mark.
What was he doing out in the wild?
He goes, "I've been to the footy."
Oh, he loves the footy.
And you know what? We spoke about the footy for 50 minutes. And I was like,
He would have been as happy as a pig in shit because he's married to my sister who is even less interested in football.
I had to wrap him up because he wanted to talk forever.
He's the sort of guy that gets tickets to the interstate games and goes. Not the grand finals or whatever. He will fly to Sydney to see Sydney Swans or wherever they're playing.
Yeah.
Full on.
Yeah. Well, I just think, it just personifies a lot. He's a very smart guy, Mark. But men can talk about football until they fall asleep.
Do you talk about football with Jen? Does she have any interest?
None.
Are you going to get a housemate in your new abode?
Well, I'm looking for a housemate. So I'm looking for a place that's ready to move into. So, yeah, I've been looking at places and there's a short list. I actually met a guy last week called Victor with a K.
Victor.
First of all, what do you think of when you hear the name Victor?
Marg Downey impersonating an SBS newsreader. Or
correct.
It was one of those girls, or Full Frontal or something.
Victor. That was Marg Downey.
Victor. Yeah.
I think of Victor on The Young and the Restless.
Yes. I also think of Victor Goldenstein, who was my GP when I was a kid. He had a great bushy moustache.
Like Victor on Young and the Restless.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's
but he looked a bit like Simon Townsend. Do you remember Simon Townsend? Welcome to my wonder world. Simon Townsend's Wonder World. Okay.
But I definitely know the name.
Okay.
Anyway,
you met this guy, Victor.
Here's something, right? If I had a kid, I reckon I might go with Victor. I feel like Victor's a name that hasn't been used properly.
I met a kid last week called Stanley, and it is golden. Stan the man.
Really?
Great name.
This is Stan.
Stanley. Yeah, come on.
Stan Zamanek.
Oh.
Stan Tucci.
Stanley Tucci, hasn't he done well?
What a renaissance.
Oof, a pivot for the ages. From high-class actor to food god.
To TikTok chef.
TikTok chef with his own cookware line, if you don't hardly mind. It's very nice too.
Can I ask, is he homosexual?
I don't know. No, he's not.
Okay.
I think his wife is all over his cooking and stuff.
Okay. Not that I need to know. It's just good to know. But
I think it's a very harsh judgment that if a man can cook, he is probably gay. If a man can cook and act and have a cookware line, that he's probably gay. I mean, come on.
I'd like to see the stats.
Oh, God.
So anyway.
Victor.
I'm at Victor's house. Victor's going away for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So this is just going to be a bit of a taste test. I stay at Victor's while he goes to Europe. You might actually see him in Milan. Mm-hmm. And Victor goes, this is the house. This is it. I go, any other things?
Is he the agent or the owner?
He is the, he's got the lease.
Right, okay. So this is on like flatmates.com or whatever.
100%. Mm-hmm. Which is where I run a lot of this business.
Right, sure.
And and so I go, anything else I need to know, Victor? And he goes, no. Actually, yes, brand new mattress. You can't have sex in it. And I go,
what?
Yeah, because I was sleeping in Victor's bed. Victor's going to Milan. And so I go, again, I was like.
How long for?
6 weeks. And I go, yeah, of course. Because, you're not going to go, what the fuck? And walk out.
Imagine if you thrown the table.
Trash his joint.
Get fucked, Victor.
Piece of shit, Victor. And so then I just was like poker face. Yeah, of course. What are you talking about? And then I didn't get back to Victor.
That's a very odd caveat. I mean, it's understandable.
New mattress is a key variable, but don't have people staying in your house, Victor.
Absolutely
for 6
not.
weeks, you're tied up.
If it was me and I was going to Milan for 6 weeks and I had to sublet my room, I would go to like Fantastic Furniture or Facebook even, Facebook Marketplace, buy a new mattress used for $50, put it on there, write it off for 6 weeks.
That's it.
Put my nice new mattress in the garage or away at a
Yes.
friend's place. And then it doesn't matter what happens on that bed.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Victor can't put that special condition in. Special conditions are funny because I was looking at, I'm obsessed with realestate.com.au. I get hyper fixated on stuff, and this has been years, right? So I've got alerts and whatever. I'm not in the market to buy anything or rent, whatever. Like, no. But every day I'm pootling around there.
No, great word.
Pootling.
Is that a word?
Yeah, it is. Have a pootle about, P-O-O-T-L-E.
Is that like a cousin of pottering?
It's very, very similar.
Much more fun to say.
Yes.
Wow, geez. I'll be using that
I
today.
feel like a pootle can be virtual. You can have a pootle, pootle around Google, a pootle around this, and you got to have a potter in your bedroom or a potter late at night, potter in the kitchen.
Pooter. Some pooting.
Pootle.
Yeah.
Pootle.
Yeah.
Anyway, I found this house and it was on a good block, and I dream of developing. I dream of building something new, right, which I'll never do. But I like a dream. It keeps me busy. Anyway, I was looking, and then sometimes I even waste the agent's time and get the Section 52. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's like the contract.
Oh,
And
cool.
You can have a look through it. And anyway, there was a special condition, much like Victor's. And the special condition was house sold as is. And I thought, I wonder what that's about. So I drove to the house. It was far away because I had to see what the special condition was.
Yeah.
I'm getting crazier, aren't I?
No,
Like,
this is good.
So I get to the house and I can see that it's vacant, which is a great sign because you can have a pootle around the perimeter. So I went in. I have never seen so much rubbish in one backyard. And then I was looking through the windows to the ceiling rubbish, hoarder level rubbish. And it was very satisfying to see because I had my answer.
Yep.
That is why the special condition is it is sold as is. Because you don't want to sell it and then have to get in there with your bare hands.
Do you deal with that specific real estate agent a lot?
No.
Because you could find out, their mettle by saying, anything I should know about this place? Because they would have seen it. They'd know that it's a hoarder's place.
I actually did.
And what did they say?
Real estate agents are getting more honest. His line was, it's grim. It's grim.
And you're like, I've got to see this.
Yeah. I said, what's it like inside? Oof, grim, unlivable, he said.
That sounds like a bargain.
How does that set up compare to Victor's house? No good, sane, unlivable?
Oh, no, Victor's was livable. It just was unreasonable is what it was.
What does it cost now to rent something?
What I figured out through much pootering and pottering. Pootling.
P-O-O-T-L-E is the verb to pootle.
A poodle. Lucky. I'd be saying pootering.
I don't even know.
There you go. This
it's a
guy's
word.
insane. Keeps saying pootering.
So you've had a pootle.
I've had many a poodle. So you've got to pay $400 a week for anything that's reasonable. Victor was running it
In a share.
in a
400
share.
for a share.
And then
wow.
and that's in Hawthorne. If you want to go Richmond, South Yarra, forget about Sydney. That would be. Whew. Actually, I know a couple of dudes who are running some rooms there that you could get a bargain, but yeah, you got to pay about $400 a week.
God, that's a lot.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
And that's not bills included, is it?
Some are, some aren't.
I'm going to start slipping invoices under my kids' bedroom doors.
That's what my mum does all the time. If you weren't living here, this would cost this.
Do you pay anything to Jen?
Kinda. I pay for Wi-Fi, not all meals, some meals, milk. Mum always wants milk. Do you want anything? Yeah, some more milk. Some more milk? How much milk does a woman need? It's always after milk.
For her hot chocolates, maybe. Ash Williams, we are almost out of time, but do you feel like playing around of what's in the belly bag?
Yes, please.
Great.
Great.
Throwing it at you.
Oh, I love being thrown a belly bag.
What was the last one? Oh, the last one was hair transplants.
Oh, well.
What's in there?
It's a Yo Pro.
It's a Yo Pro vanilla, the best, by the way. Yogurt.
Wow. Yogurt.
Have you had one of them?
You know what's funny? This is the yogurt I have.
Is it?
I would love a sponsorship. It gets a 5-star rating.
Oh, my God.
Holy
it is
moly.
so great. The whole point of what's in the belly bag is I give you the belly bag, you open it up, and something inside it means something to you, a thought starter, a story.
Yeah, so Mum has accused me of stealing her yogurt and she's like, have you been eating my yogurt?
Okay. Let's talk yogurts for a minute. Are they the pots? Is it a big pot? Is it the pouch? What yogurt specifically?
So Mum runs with the Jolna coconut yogurt, the Greek yogurt. It's probably pound for pound the best flavoured yogurt.
Agreed.
The pot set flexes its muscles in different ways.
I want to throw a spanner in the works here, and this is absolutely not #not spawn. Have you tried Bulla Australian style yogurt?
I haven't.
It only comes in the small old school tubs like we used to take to school. It is the most delicious.
Okay, I'll try it.
Oh, God, it's so good. I need some now. Back to your yogurt story.
So yeah, and I was like, come again, Mum. You know,
Take it easy.
I do a lot of things, but one thing I don't do is steal my mum's yogurt.
What sort of man do you think I am?
Because I usually have my own yogurt set up. I'm usually always, I've got tubs of it. I've got like 1.5 tubs at all times. One thing I'm very organised with is my inventory of yogurt.
Are you a liquor of the lid?
No, it's
Me
not like
neither.
the old Yoplait. I run with the tubs. And so I know where I'm at. I've got 1.5 tubs. And what's funny is at the time I was eating the coconut yogurt. And so Mum's like,
Hers?
So we had 3 or 4 tubs of coconut yogurt.
You got to get through that. You're doing a favour actually if you're eating it.
It's got pretty generous expiry dates. But Mum's like, I'm missing half my yogurt. And I go, look, I don't need to steal. That's not who I am. And if anyone's been stealing, it's you. Yeah. So Mum's like, are you serious? You know, Mum's upset if she goes to me, are you serious? That's her like, get fucked.
Yeah.
Are you serious? And I'm like, 100%. So I come home later that day and Mum has got the Posca out and she's marked Jen all over her yogurts. So she's now marked all her yogurts.
Oh.
And not only has she done, she's marked her eggs because she was questioning the egg stealing too. And so our fridge is a mess. It looks like a frat house. It's just labelled.
I feel like this is the beginning of the end.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah.
And so then that's when I was like, well, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go to YoPro. So there's no
Confusion,
argument.
yes.
I'm now a YoPro man.
Yep.
And we haven't had any yogurt arguments, but I definitely miss the coconut Jolna. Absolutely.
And you can't get coconut yogurt in a pouch, sadly. Before you leave this house today, because you are live from the compound on the ChrissieCast, I'm going to slip under your arm a container that I found at Kmart, clear perspex, that fits 10 YoPros neatly in the fridge.
Oh, wow. Oh, the sachets.
Yeah. They stand up like little soldiers saying, what about me next? What about me next? It's so neat. Jen will be beside herself with jealousy.
That is hot. Like if they ever do an Australian version of MTV Cribs.
Yes.
You know, when they open the fridge and like people are like, what, you live with your mum? And you're like, no, wait till you see the fridge. And I've got 10 YoPros. It's like,
in its own container. I'm going to make a label for it too. Ash's yogurt. Stuff the Posca.
Yeah, Mum doesn't like the YoPro. So, you know, definitely not sponsored. But I'm mad for the YoPro.
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked by how much protein you get. I always try and do the maths when I'm sitting there just eating my yogurt. How much protein am I getting? And I'm always like, it's a lot. I never have a round figure. Because
it's so much. It's the best.
Yeah.
You have one of them, you don't have to eat for 7 weeks. They should have had it in the Bible.
It's on the back of their packet.
Yeah.
You don't need to eat for 7 weeks.
You don't need to eat for 7 weeks. There's so much protein in it. Goodbye, Ash. Thank you so much for coming, and I will see you next time. Repeat after me. Pootle.
Pootle.
Not spawn.
Not spawn.
Good boy.
Hope you're enjoying Milan.
I'm back from
You're
Milan
back,
now.
sorry.
Yeah.
Take that out.
God love you.
And that's it for Ash Williams. Until next month, you can follow him at Ash Williams1 on Insta for insights into his very unpredictable life. And hey, don't forget to follow me as well at the ChrissieCast for updates and bits and bobs and probably giveaways as well if you don't hardly mind. Till next time, ChrissieCasters.